The Rohingya crisis seems a textbook example of ethnic cleansing, according to the United Nations human rights chief. But it is not yet officially genocide. One can only wonder why not, given the definition of the crime in Article 2 of the UN's Genocide Convention. Video Starvation and Death on the Beaches. It states that genocide is any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial or religious group, a killing members of the group, b causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, c deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, d imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. Image. More than 600,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled from Buddhist-majority Myanmar to Bangladesh since late August. Image. In desperation, refugees are building makeshift rafts to try to cross the Bangladesh-Myanmar border. Image. Young children and the elderly struggle to cope with the lack of food and water, and poor conditions. Image. A mother and father hold their two young children ahead of the crossing. Image. Driven from their homes after a military crackdown, many have lost everything they own. Image. A young Rohingya boy cries as he disembarks from the crossing. Image. After the perilous raft journey, refugees continue their journey on foot. Image. A girl carries all her possessions on her head as she walks to a refugee camp. Image. A young boy peeps through a bamboo barricade at a Bangladesh refugee camp. Image. The Rohingya are regarded as illegal immigrants in Myanmar and most are stateless. Myanmar's government seems to have met at least AC of the above criteria. So why the reluctance to call the massings and forced deportations genocide? The Rohingya crisis explained. To answer that, we must look to Article 1 of the same convention. It says the contracting parties confirm that genocide, whether committed in time of peace or in time of war, is a crime under international law which they undertake to prevent and to punish. That's why the word isn't being used. Defining events like this as genocide requires the 147 nations that have signed up to the convention to stop it by force if necessary. Image. Many Rohingyas have fled to refugee camps in Bangladesh. That's why back in 1994 the U.S. State Department was swiftly gagged by its own lawyers during the mid-stages of the Rwandan genocide. They pointed out that if the U.S. accepted that the mass murder of around 1 million was state-sponsored and ethnically based, then there was an obligation to invade the Central African nation. Instead, the US, UK, and every other country wrinkled their noses at the mass murder of Tutsis and moderate Hutus until it was all over, and any effort to prevent the slaughter would have been too late. There is no appetite to invade Myanmar, not least because its leader Aung San Suu Kyi is a Nobel Peace Laureate. And so the Rohingya, a Muslim population in a largely Buddhist nation, are being ethnically cleansed, not subjected to genocide. Not that they would be able to tell the difference.